All right, welcome to Waking the Kraken. I'm Wes Potts.
And I'm Alex Kahneman.
And now it's time for Kraken World News. Alex, would you like to start us off since I started us off last week?
I think I started us off last week. And the week before that.
No, I started us off because we recorded the wrong episode for a minute.
You're right.
You're right.
All right. Okay, so as of April 20th, there's been an E. coli outbreak that has now spread to 61 people across 16 states, and it has been linked to romaine lettuce. The CDC has issued a warning saying, please throw away all of your packaged and whole head romaine lettuce products as they may have been contaminated with E. coli. So just do it. Yeah. We don't want any of our seamen getting sick.
Didn't that happen with Sprouts a couple years ago? Oh, God.
Yeah, I think it might have.
So, in other news, Kendrick Lamar just won the coveted Pulitzer Prize for music. The album Damn is actually the first album that is not a classical piece or a jazz album to actually win so.
Interesting. April 24th will be the 28th anniversary of the launch of the Hubble telescope, which means it'll have been 28 years we've been receiving high-definition pictures from a telescope way out in the far upper atmosphere into the space.
Oh, that's really cool.
Right.
The classic children's anthology, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, has been picked up to be made by Guillermo del Toro as an actual piece. He tweeted about this last Monday, actually, about how he's going to start making these. And so it's going to be really awesome, because I used to read those all the time when I was a kid.
I have them on a shelf literally above my bed.
Yeah.
Like, I have had those books in my life ever since I can remember, and like I couldn't imagine not being able to have them and show them to my kids.
Well, I remember like checking them out at the library, and like everyone coveted having it.
I know,
like,
right?
It was like the book to have, like that, and Goosebumps, and like
right. You're like, this week it's mine.
Yeah. No one's gonna get it.
Saudi Arabia has lifted a 35-year ban on cinema. It opened up an AMC theater, and on April 18th, it showed its first film in 35 years. And it was Black Panther.
Yeah, I was listening to NPR did a story about that yesterday. North Korea will cease its intercontinental missile test starting on April 21st to prepare for the summit talks with the United States and South Korea. This has been the first like big pivotal talks in decades, I think, especially with the United States. Sometimes
right.
South Korea and North Korea would actually have talks, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just glad that talks are happening. I'm just glad that I'm glad that we're talking first. Like, I like how war used to be like, oh, fuck, we're going to war now. and now it's just like,
no time to talk. Let's fucking kill each other first. Like.
Yeah. But now they're like, okay, well, we're gonna have a summit. Well, yeah, we'll call it a summit. All right, let's all meet and talk about this first.
Let's try to, it's like, let's hash things out, and if we can't resolve our differences, then we'll kill each other.
Right. If you stop blowing things up for a moment so we can talk to you, if they fall for that trap and we just invade, that'll be amazing.
That's a terrible idea. Let's not put that out in the waves. We are not even planning that here in America.
No, we're not planning that at all. Not at all.
I don't need to get a little blip on the SoundCloud that says, like, Pyongyang, North Korea. And it's like, oh, shit. We just caused an international crisis.
Right. No. I'm glad that we're having the talks because I want to avoid shit like that happening.
Yeah.
Which is so I don't know. I mean, it's to me right now, that's best case scenario. They're having talks.
I'm really proud of going back to what we were talking about. I'm really proud of Kendrick for winning that Pulitzer Prize. Like, that's all I've heard about this last week, man. And like, honestly, like, what was it? It was To Pimp a Butterfly got accepted into like the Library of Congress. And now, like, he won a Pulitzer for Damn and stuff. Like, he's doing great.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, he's one of those guys that's kicking it with the conscious rap, you know?
Right.
And so, like, he's really putting a lot of powerful messages into his music. And, I mean, if you go and look at, kind of, like, you know, where hip-hop came from, it kind of came about in a time, you know, of political turmoil. And then, like, you know, and it was kind of trying to do the same thing punk was at the time, but punk really had already kind of grabbed a hold of we're the guys with the messages right now.
Right.
And punk's since died off, and it's really allowed hip-hop to kind of take over as being like the message music right now. And I think Kendrick has really spearheaded that and taken advantage of it.
I know that my opinion is very unpopular about punk music, but I think like the thing is like I I can't stand listening to pop punk music anymore.
Oh, dude.
Like, it's because it's like punk rock used to be so cool and edgy and stuff like that, and then for like about the past 15 years, it's just been candy coated like an M&M, and now it means nothing. And I was like, I think the thing for me is it comes down to the point where even if you wanted to go back to old punk and stuff, no one's going to take it seriously for a good long while, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because you have this like whole like, well, why aren't you talking about teenager problems? Why are you complaining about the government? Everyone knows the government sucks, kind of thing and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's almost made a mockery of itself to where it's not useful anymore, I feel like.
I mean, I could definitely see that.
You can still get bands like there's still a few bands out there that still really rage, but I think a lot of them like I don't know. I can't take someone seriously anymore that like.
Well, I mean, also you have to remember that like the end of the, like the 80s and into the 90s, punk came around in the 70s, and hip hop was really starting to form in the late 70s,
right? And
didn't really become a genre until the 80s, and so like, at the time there was a lot to say. These people had a lot of things to say, and so the music was driven by what they had to say and their amount of edginess that they hadn't heard before.
Right.
Now, if someone comes out and they're trying to be edgy and they don't sound anywhere near as edgy as Cannibal Corpse, they're not going to sound edgy to me. They're just going to sound like a band.
Right.
And so if they're going to try and be edgy, they have to be able to do it in a way that's edgy and I'm not familiar with. I
mean, like there are a few. Like, I mean, like what is it? I think like the rapper POS also has a punk band called Bombs Over Baghdad or something like that, and they're pretty interesting. But he's also involved with Doomtree, and I think he does better work as a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
I started watching the second season of Atlanta the other day. Yeah.
I mean, I still need to watch that show.
It's so good. But the more important thing about it is there's this one theory that was posed on Atlanta that I think is funny, and I never thought about it until now. Have you ever noticed, since we do the news every week?
Yeah.
I'm sure you see it quite a lot whenever we look through things for news stories. There's always a Florida man.
Yeah, there's always a Florida man.
A Florida man. And Darius, one of the characters on Atlanta, actually talks about this theory that he has on a Florida man, where it's one guy. It's one guy that the government is covering up for some reason because he hates... Like he goes out and does these crazy things, and the government's covering it up because he subtly keeps that racial check in line and stuff like that. But it's like a Florida man kills so and so, a Florida man gets high and naked on the subway, like a Florida man and stuff. And it was the funniest thing in the world to me because now I can't look at those news stories without thinking about just one guy.
Dude, it's that
named
dude.
a Florida man.
A Florida man. Man, last week he was fucking wrestling crocodiles in the middle of the highway.
Yeah. And this week he's done like this great, I think it was, what is it, Flocka or something like that? That's that drug that you always see on like YouTube videos where they're just like spazzing out.
Yeah, man.
Like
Flocka. The thing that makes you turn into like an insane zombie.
Yeah, you're like a crazed zombie. It's like the weirdest voodoo curse ever.
It would be straight up like, what's the movie? What's the movie with the fast zombies?
28 Days Later?
28 Days Later, yeah, that type of zombie.
Yeah.
Fast zombies.
So what have you been up to this week?
A lot of painting. I've been painting.
You've been painting the house or just like painting a canvas or?
Oh, painting white walls. And, the apartments, the usual jorb.
Oh, okay, yeah, for work.
Yeah, we actually did a lot of, oh my gosh, dude, holy crap. I have to tell you, I had a wild experience. Okay. We go into work on Monday, and we were expecting to paint.
Right.
And we call the foreman like we always do, and we say, hey, what do you want us to do today? And he goes, well, I really need you to do grounds at this one place, which means we're going to be standing outside. And it was still cold that day. It was like the last cold day or before the warm spot we had. And so we were kind of bummed that we were going to be outside, and it was really chilly. But he said, well, people have been calling and complaining about the dumpster being so far away from the spot that they can't back out of the parking spots. And we're like, what? Whatever. So we knew there was trash back there, and the dumpster got set forward. We get back there. There's a mattress that's laid out perfectly the distance between the back wall and the dumpster.
Has someone been sleeping behind the dumpster?
Yes, definitely. Because there's also a pile of needles just on the mattress, just sitting there, and and not like diabetic needles. Like I've cleaned a lot of places and dealt with the diabetic needles and seen those. Like these were like junky fucking needles, dude. Like they had like a glasses case that had a bunch of them stuffed in there, and like the tips of them were all bent, and there weren't like any alcohol wipes. There was a big fucking ball of aluminum foil sitting on the ground next to them, and it was like, and it was just like, it was really unsettling to me because it was like I had to clean because I had to clean it up. And I was terrified. So we use like these little grabber things, you know, where you squeeze the handle and it has the claw. We use those to get rid of all of the needles first. And then, but I mean, it was just scary to me. It was just to think about, I mean, there had to be like 25, 30 needles back there just sitting out and open. And it's like, there's kids running around while I'm cleaning this up. And it's like, if one of them decided to go back behind the dumpster,
and found something like darts or what they thought looked like darts.
Yeah, it was like that could have been awful, and it just. Glad I cleaned it up. I'm glad I cleaned it up. But.
I learned something in paraphernalia terms this week. I work obviously I work at a tobacco shop, not a head shop. Most people don't realize there's a difference between that, but I don't sell any like glass or anything like that.
No.
But I did have. I've been hearing this term a lot, and I didn't know what it was. I just thought. People come in all the time and they ask for incense and stuff.
Yeah.
And someone came in the other day and they're like, hey, do you have any incense burners or any glassware? And I was like, sorry, man, we don't have any of that because we don't.
Yeah.
But I looked at one of my coworkers and I was just like, is there something that I'm not understanding? Like I was like, we get a lot of people that ask for incense burners, and I was like, is that a thing that can be? I was like, what do you use an incense burner for? Because I'm thinking of like those ones that have like the little light at the bottom and you put like the little incense oil and it diffuses it.
Yeah.
But I'm sadly mistaken. It's for crack, and it's just what a crack pipe is called if you want to sell it legally.
Right.
Like it's the little glass little funnel with like the bulb at the end of it and stuff. And apparently you can allegedly say you can put oil out of it or something.
Yeah, that's what they say.
For smoking crack.
Yeah, you can also some gas stations will sell them, and it'll be a rose and a glass bubble.
Yeah, they say like that's another one that I was reading about actually because I went on Urban Dictionary. They were talking about how you can put a couple flowers or something in the bottom of them and be like, it's a mystical, like, and then you just take the flower out.
Yeah, and the flowers just pull right out. Like, no big deal. Like I find those little boxes all over the place whenever I clean up. Like, oh yeah, this is clearly a bubble
for smoking crack,
rose in it. Like, yeah, and so yeah, man.
But I never knew that. I've worked in this for years, and I just obviously
I've never heard the term incense burner.
Yeah,
before.
That's what they've been calling them the entire. They're just like, yeah, do you have an incense burner? And I was just like, no, man. I just thought it was because like it just looked like a place that would sell incense.
Yeah, right. I mean, it makes sense. Do you still get the people calling and asking if you have kratom?
We get that occasionally. I think like it's. You can definitely tell that someone looked it up online. I think that's where the case is like people will look these things up online and we're listed with all the other head shops because people just type in smoke shop.
Right, of course.
And so yeah, we get people that come in occasionally. They're like, hey, do you guys have any kratom here? Or like they've asked for K2. They've asked for other things like that.
Yeah.
We always get the random questions of like, hey, can you smoke like other things through this? And you know that they're talking about weed, but really you just go, you mean like black tar heroin? And then they're like, oh no, not black tar heroin, because no one wants to look like a junkie, but it's hilarious to me. Like,
yeah, you just go right to the extreme. You just like make it to where like the natural thought is, oh yeah, you're just gonna do heroin. Yeah, man, you can totally do heroin with this hookah.
Yeah, man, you could smoke heroin, but you got to do it in this particular manner. Like,
So, I saw something really interesting.
Okay.
I was riding home from work. You know, Dave was driving, and one of those blacked out police vehicles, like the big SUVs with the black rims and the black windows, and all black with the lights that are just like, they don't have the top lights, they have the ones that are in the windshield.
Yeah, like that.
And then they have the little spotlights on the windows. That's the only way you can see them. But they had one that passed by, and in black on the side was a decal, like a black decal on the black side that said MOJS. And I've been trying to figure out what it is. It's not listed anywhere.
Is it Missouri Justice Services?
I mean, no.
Okay.
Yeah, and why would Missouri Justice Services just have a totally blacked out vehicle? Like, I mean, I tried looking it up and trying to find. I couldn't find anything. And so my best guess is it must be like
Black Ops.
yeah, like one of their like undercover services.
It's the Men in Black.
Yeah, it's the Men in Black. Yeah, right. The Men in Black, right here.
I have been watching so many things on conspiracy theories. It's stupid. Like
okay.
I've been.
Please tell me.
Once again, I got on a rabbit hole the other day about the Anunnaki. Because I watched that one video that if you've gone back through our catalog and listened to the very first episode of Sexy Monkey People, I go on a 10-minute spiel about this.
No, yeah, man.
But yeah, I watched some more of those because they pop up on my Facebook or on my YouTube all the time. I've been trying to watch other ones. Really, like I had to postpone my conspiracy theory viewings because there's a very important thing that's coming out this week, and I had to watch. I had to watch all of these theories on Westworld Season 2, which comes out this Sunday.
This Sunday.
So, and I am incredibly excited for it.
Me too. Oh, man, I completely forgot that it was this Sunday. I thought it was next Sunday.
This Sunday, Westworld Season 2. Is Robert Ford alive, or was he just a robot that got shot by Dolores, or is he dead?
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out all the stories. The things that have been confirmed through the trailers. We get to see Samurai World this year. There's a theory that we even get to see Future World this year.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So yeah,
that would be awesome, dude. I've been very ecstatic about this whole book series becoming this show like it is. It's a very, very incredible book, dude. And this show is doing a really, really great job of just like translating it.
And I have a theory that Season 3, we may see it in Season 1, but Season 3, I feel like eventually we'll see Rome World. Because they already have the HBO show Rome, and I'm sure they have all of those like costumes and stuff in a warehouse, and so it would just be really easy.
It would be totally
to
easy
do.
To just be like, yep, you're in Rome now.
Yeah, and especially since like they're going to be like this after this next year. When they're going to like so you've got Season 2, and then you've got a whole year that they'll probably be making the next season, which is the year that Game of Thrones comes out. But after that, they'll have an open budget because Game of Thrones is going to be gone.
Right.
So they can throw more money at probably Westworld if they don't end it this season.
I mean that's probably going to be what they're doing. They're advertising it very heavy this year.
Right.
I mean they're making a very big deal out of it. Like they're pushing it like they used to push Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And so I think like Rome World will come in.
Yeah.
Which I think would be funny if they got the same actors from Rome, because me and you watched Rome,
that would be even
and it was
better.
just like it just like connects Rome with Rome World. Like.
That would be hilarious, dude. And it's like, oh yeah, if you watch Rome, it leads right up to when they come over from Westworld.
Yeah, it's like the last scene of Rome, like where you get to see the things and stuff, and then like it's like a little connector, and then there's like Titus Pullo and like
just
Lucius Marinus. Just hanging out, and then like they're one of the guys that guide you through Rome World, and then you get to meet Julius Caesar until he dies, and then Augustus Caesar and Mark Antony and Cleopatra.
Yeah, and they're gonna go back into the like hub, and they're gonna meet the dead Pompey Caesar.
That would be the coolest thing ever.
That would be awesome.
I think I would like be like, HBO, you've done it again. You've made 2 shows into 1 show now.
You have successfully made your catalog continuous.
Now there's going to be Game of Thrones World, or Fantasy World, as you probably would call it in the Westworld franchise.
Yeah, no, they would just what would they would call it? Westeros World.
Westeros World.
Because I was going to say they'd just call it Westworld, the name of the show. Did you watch a new movie this week? We have to do this. We talk about movies every week.
Yeah, I did. I watched Isle of Dogs. I saw that, the new Wes Anderson film. I thought it was very. I've been a very harsh critic on Wes Anderson films. Actually, the past 2 ones, I didn't really like Grand Budapest Hotel. I didn't really like Moonrise Kingdom. I thought that they didn't really. I like Wes Anderson on the fact that he generally used to explore a lot of different concepts. I think Grand Budapest and I think that Moonrise Kingdom were very prototype. Like they were just like, it was almost like if Wes Anderson was like, I made a Wes Anderson generator and I just put a few words in and this is what it spit out.
Right.
Isle of Dogs was really interesting to me because it was using something that he'd already used, which was Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Right.
He used Fantastic Mr. Fox like style, which was the stop motion.
Yeah.
I'm already a sucker for stop motion, so that was already a good call. But I thought the most ingenious thing is, if you've ever heard me talk, the people who made the Triplets of Belleville, they have another movie called The Illusionist. And the reason I love The Illusionist so much is because it's put in 2 different languages. It's in French and Highland Gaelic. I don't speak either of those languages. But I watched this film, and I could understand exactly what was going on because the movements were so clean and the animation was perfect at telling the story.
Wow.
I think some of the people that worked on The Illusionist also worked on the movie that you really like, which is The Secrets of Kells.
Secret of Kells, yeah.
Yeah, and so the one thing that I will say about Isle of Dogs that I really appreciated was, outside of the stop motion, it also did the same thing as The Illusionist did, where everyone speaks in their native language. So the Japanese boy that the story's around will never speak in English. He never says anything in English. In fact, at the very beginning of the movie, they go, every person in this film speaks their native tongue.
Okay.
Except for the dogs. The barks have been translated into English. And so I thought it was really clever.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cute. It's a cute story about a boy who loves his dog so much that he wants to go find him. It's a very big family drama, which is what Wes Anderson's really well known for.
Right.
I would say go see it. If you want to watch a cute movie, it is not for children. It is definitely 100% not for children.
Okay.
It's not like Fantastic Mr. Fox in that vein. If you showed your kids Fantastic Mr. Fox and you were like, what a lovely story. We should go take our children to go see Isle of Dogs because they love dogs. It has some things that you will be like, we're going to have to explain some stuff to our children now.
Right. That's funny. All right. Yeah, I've been really itching to go to a movie theater, so I'm probably going to have to make that the one we do.
Yeah. That one that one looks really good. I can't think of a movie actually recently outside of that now that I have been wanting to see. There's a couple ones that are coming out soon, but they're a while away. So
yeah, I really want to go see that Rampage movie.
I was going to say, you talked about it last week. I was going to say, did you go see that Rampage movie?
No, they were only showing it one day in theaters, and it was the day before we recorded that episode.
Dang it!
Yeah, right. Yeah, I really wanted to go see it though. I was like, it's going to be a pop fun movie. Like, I'd rather. It's like, if I'm going to watch this movie, it better be on a 100-foot screen.
But yeah, no, I mean, like that's the thing. I saw that Jordan Peele is doing the Twilight Zone stuff too, I think is what I heard.
Really?
He's started to get greenlit for that.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Because he did Get Out, obviously, and he's a big fan of the Twilight Zone. And I am also a big fan of the 80s Twilight Zone, or the 60s Twilight Zone, not the 80s one. The 80s one can suck a dick. John Lithgow was in it. It was okay.
Yeah.
But like, I really, really love the 60s. In fact, I've been watching that a lot this week since I was sick.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're classics. I mean, that's some of the like original storytelling that developed sci-fi and horror that that show developed most of the tropes that we follow today.
Oh yeah,
and it's crazy to me. I mean, like every episode when you watch it is still, some of them even today are like, whoa, they thought of that back then. And you're just like, we don't have anything that wild now.
What about you in the world of music? You heard anything interesting? I know the other week you talked about some new artists that had some peculiar names.
Really, I've been going back through my playlists and my artists that I do listen to regularly, and I've been trying to find things just completely different. And so I've really just been listening to, like, I'll just type in Eurobeat and I'll just listen. And if I see a name or something that I like, I might like it. But really, I'm just doing it while I work most of the time right now. And I just don't really have a lot of names to throw out there.
No, you're fine.
I've really been working on music. Sid and I are Sid Wade. Sid Boyle.
From Hell Theme Park.
Yeah, from Hell Theme Park. She and I are working on another track, and the topic is going to be sexual assault, but she's doing it all through kind of like metaphor and storytelling, and then she's going to have her other half Jeff come in, and he's going to be doing some more like male counterpart vocals.
Oh, cool.
And but the idea is it's going to be like a pretty mellow kind of like indie rock song feel. And then whenever Jeff starts to come in, he likes to do metal vocals, and so he's going to be doing the like aggressive, scary section of the song that really tries to capture the emotion of what we're talking about.
I want to get Jeff on the show sometime, actually. I really can we get Jeff on the show sometime?
Dude, we could totally
get Jeff on the show. I think he'd be really fun to talk to.
Dude, he is a lot of fun to talk to, and he needs to be on here.
He seems like he'd be a wonderful contribution and something to break up the monotony of us asking Patrick on a million times.
Yeah, right.
And I can say that because Patrick told me he hasn't been listening to the show recently. So.
Oh, great. Does that mean we have to get Patrick on again?
No, we don't need to get Patrick on again.
Okay.
It's just really funny for him to probably 4 months down the road after we record this episode, he's gonna be like, "So I heard you said I wasn't watching or listening to the show."
Yeah, right. That's pretty much what's
gonna be
happen.
Hilarious. It's a way to track this.
Oh nope, I lost it. Oh yeah, super fight. We gotta do super fight.
We'd have to do super fight. So we had Barney, who is a hologram, and we also have Jack Bauer, who steals opponents' abilities with a touch. Now, I did run the polls this week, and we did have a couple votes. Right now, the votes coming in are for Jack Bauer. Jack Bauer is our winner this week.
Easy, because that's basically just Jack Bauer versus Barney at that point.
Yeah, it's a very even playing field. And Jack Bauer, the man who can save the day in 24 hours.
He can, man. Man, you remember that show?
Yeah, didn't they bring it back last year or the year before, something like that? They had one season for 24.
Yeah, they might have. It wouldn't surprise me. I just remember that first season was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And how they would have the timer at the bottom to let you know this is exactly how much time has passed.
Yeah, I think it came out around the same time as I think it was out around the same time as Lost, and both of those had the little clock theme and stuff.
It was really popular. It was really popular.
It was a very big thing in the 2006 to 7 years.
Well, it's because once we got past 2000, I think people were less afraid of digital counters.
That's true.
They were like, "Oh, okay, we're not gonna die. That counter can go on forever. Whatever."
But yeah, so we need to pull a new character because Barney's totes out. But the reign of Barney's gone, though. That's the thing.
He had a happy family.
I guess.
Happy
family. He gone back to our imagination.
It's not a family if they're all just holograms of yourself, Barney.
He's already from our imagination. He's just holograms, basically for children.
All right, how about a whale?
A whale is fighting Jack Bauer. This whale has tiny bird legs.
Oh, man. Okay, so it's Jack Bauer with tiny bird legs or without tiny bird legs.
That's true. Is this a power that Jack Bauer... Oh, that was clever. Is this a power that Jack Bauer wants to steal? Find out next week on 24.
All right, I think I like this one. This is a tough one. How does a man fight a whale?
And how does a man fight a whale with bird legs?
With bird legs. Yeah, because that means it can walk.
That's true. Well, it's got tiny bird legs.
That's true. You're right. It can't
it's
walk.
It's a whale.
It's a whale. It can't walk at all. It doesn't say how many bird legs it has. It just says it has tiny bird legs. It could be like a whalipede.
That's
with bird legs.
That's terrifying to think of. That's a horror movie in itself. Is whalipede?
Whalipede, dude. That needs to happen.
Okay. We'll make a short film of whalipede.
Killer whalipede.
Killer whalipede. We'll release it with a double feature with Tux Conde. It'll be like our Grindhouse production. I'll be Robert Rodriguez and you can be Tarantino.
I'm fine with that.
We also nobody commented on whether or not we should call you anything other than semen out there, people in listening paradise. So congratulations, you are all officially now semen.
You're going to be it.
You're going to be semen.
And you know what? And you're just going to have to deal with it. And you know what? The only way that we're not going to call you semen is when we get to 1,000 subscribers.
We'll host a referendum.
We'll host a referendum vote.
Because we are democratic.
Yeah, of course we're democratic. I mean, we're not just, there's two captains, We're almost like a parliament.
It's like a Roman consulship.
It's more like that, actually. Yeah. So, for now, semen. I hope you enjoy us calling you that frequently.
Well, semen.
Well, thanks for joining us this week, I think.
Yeah, guys, have a good one out there, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, definitely. It's supposed to be warming up and be beautiful.
All right, as always, I'm Wes Potts.
And I'm Alex Kahneman.
Have a good one.
Later.